Hello, Jane. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Congratulations on It's a Wonderful Knife arriving on Shutter, on AMC Plus, and everywhere you rent movies on December 1. I'm a big fan of slasher movies, and with this whole twist of George Bailey, it makes this movie so fresh and unique. How fun was it for you, Jane, filming this film? And were you always a fan of slasher movies?
I've always been a fan of slasher movies. I love horror. I love psychological thrillers specifically. I know that's different from slashers, but that's kind of my where I love scary movies the most, I guess. But yeah, no, I was immediately, as soon as I read the script, I was so on board. And then working with everybody, being able to work with Joel McHale and Justin Long, and Catherine Isbell, it was just amazing and such a great experience, and probably the best and most fun set I've ever been on. So,
This might be a question for the director, but I'm going to ask you this anyway. One of the things that I find interesting about this is that the killer's outfit is white. That's what fascinating to me because other slasher movies, they're usually dark, black, or gruesome. What do you think is the purpose behind that?
well, okay, so I will take what I've heard from Tyler. So, this is because I do feel like it is kind of a director's question, so I'll try my best to answer it. But I think what he was saying is they're trying to kind of go off of, the old Christmas tree toppers, like those old
Uh,
angels and how they looked, and kind of make that scary. I think I could be completely wrong on this. I think it's because either like Michael or Tyler, like they were scared by them when they were younger, like the Christmas tree toppers. So it could be that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And I think also just Michael really he loves Scream. And so I think they kind of tried to like make it like a Christmas ghost face, which I think they did a great job doing that.
it's a really cool subversion of it. Now, this movie has its twists and turns. We're not going to spill spoilers here, of course, but I want to ask about your character, Winnie. What was your process of getting into Winnie's mindset? And do you perhaps see any similarities between Winnie and your Yellowjackets character, Laura Lee?
Oh, I mean, I will say probably Laura Lee and Winnie are the most similar at the beginning,
Mm.
just because, Laura Lee is very goody two shoes and kind of same with Winnie, even though she kind of realizes that's not going to work pretty quickly. But in terms of preparing for Winnie, I mean, I had a giant timeline that had every scene and kind of dictated, oh, this is when I go into the alternate reality, this is when I come out. And that was just to keep everything straight in my brain because when you're filming so out of order. And especially for something like this project, you need to make sure you know exactly where you're at in each scene. And then I do this for every character. I like to make a playlist. I think this one was probably like 5 or 6 hours long because there was just so much to go through. I mean, you know, without giving too much away, there's a cheating song on there. I took a bunch of like old 80s slasher film music and used that. So yeah, that's kind of how I get into the character's headspace. And that's just really nice for me to be able to tap into day of. I can just put my headphones in right before a scene, especially if it's a really intense one. And then I'll let them know like, hey, can you let me know right before we're about to go? And I'll just pop my headphones out and give it to them. So that's kind of how I get in the zone.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Congratulations. You have joined the long line of group called Scream Queens. Scream Queen is an art that icons like Jamie Lee Curtis have mastered and perfected over the years. I mean, what's it like for you to join this group? And during the filming, did Tyler say, okay, for this scene, give me the loudest scream, but for that scene, could you like maybe get scream only this much? Anything like that?
I mean, I feel so honored to join all of the Scream Queens and Final Girls. I love that uh stereotype in slasher films so much. So it was just so fun to be able to play that. And what was your second question again?
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, the director, how do you measure your
Oh, the
screams?
screams. No, honestly, Tyler was just like, okay, scream, go for that one. And I just did it. And he was like, okay, that was good. Moving on. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So it's pretty much just that. I mean, wherever all of the screams in the movie directly correlate to where it said in the script a scream. Because I know that that was really important to Michael. So it was more Michael saying, like, hey, I want you to scream at this exact moment. So
And you never lost your voice once because of it.
I actually didn't. I don't know, it's a weird thing. As long as after the scream take I can get tea with honey and lemon, I'm good. my voice won't be bad, but as long as that happens, that's my recipe for getting your voice back.
I'm curious, Jane, what are your plans for the holidays? Have you done your holiday shopping yet? What's on your list this year? What do you want for Christmas this year?
Oh, what do I want for Christmas? I want a bunch of, it's kind of funny, but I want Jellycat, like stuffed little animal toys. They're so cute and I love them. I'm also a big fan of Squishmallows. So just like a little childhood thing that I love. But yes, I have done a lot of Black Friday shopping. My bank account is yelling at me right now, but I had to do it, you know, it's the best time of the year to get it done. So I'm very excited. I have some very good gifts. Especially I'm very proud of the ones that I got from my roommates. They're very creative. So yeah, but I won't give too much away because they might watch these.
Here's a fun question. If you find yourself in Winnie's situation, getting chased by a knife-wielding mass killer, would you try to outrun him or would you try to fight back, or is there option C?
I would probably run, honestly. I feel like in terms of like fight, flight, or freeze, I'm a flight, you know, I will get out of there. But I do find it really funny how Bernie's character, her reaction was to go like that to the, I don't know if you saw that in
Yep.
the, that's just so funny to me and so Bernie. And there are people who would do that, who would be like, oh yeah, I can take you. And then realize, no, I made a really bad mistake. But no, I would personally just get out of there.
Now, of course, I can't let you go without asking you, because I'm a big fan of Yellowjackets. Laura Lee, even though she was recurring, she became a fan favorite. We're gonna miss seeing her, but you came back for that hallucination scene. Let me ask you, what do you think makes that show so popular? I mean, when you guys filmed those episodes, did you guys have an inkling that Yellowjackets was gonna resonate with a lot of viewers?
You know, I don't personally, for me, I can't speak for anybody else. I didn't think that that was going to happen. And truly just because there were so many female and female presenting uh people that in the cast that we sat at the first table read and we're like, this is a historical moment. There has never been this many female or female presenting people just sitting here as series regulars. And I think that that just kind of got into all of our heads and being like, oh, this is never going to happen. Like, this is a dream, you know, and it's not going to happen. And then, of course, it did. And also, the other reason why we didn't realize it was going to happen was because we filmed the pilot in 2019 and then we didn't film the rest of the season until 2021. So we didn't know if the pandemic was just going to like completely crush our show, you know? But it didn't, and we ended up getting picked up, and that was really exciting. And I think the reason why a lot of fans resonate is that reason, is because there is so many females and so many female presenting people in the show, and it really allows you to be able to hear and see those stories in a different light. And for example, you know, you have the plane crash that actually took place with the men's soccer team.
Yep.
And I like that this is, you know, it's the female version because there's this trend of like female rage going on and like all this stuff that you see in slashers and you see in like the final girl stereotype. And I just love how that's becoming more of a thing, and really allowing to get into the female psyche is really cool, and not it hasn't been done before. We've really focused a lot on men. And so I like that we're kind of coming into this new era of seeing what's in a female or a female presenting person's mind.
So, are you coming back as Laura Lee in season 3, maybe in a flashback memory or a hallucination scene again?
I hope so. I mean, I hope so. I'm the first one to say sign me up. So we'll see.
Final question, $1 million question. There have been so many theories about that teddy bear randomly bursting into flame. Some say it's a supernatural element. Some say it's the man with the no eye who caused it. What do you think, Jane? What is your theory for that teddy bear's spontaneous combustion?
It's funny. I actually had what I thought was the case in my head the entire time, which was somebody had told me on set, I can't remember who it was, that the engine was right near where the teddy bear sat, like below the seat, that the engine caught on fire. But it's funny, my girlfriend's grandfather is a pilot and has flown planes, actually ended up crashing his plane in the wilderness and had to be rescued. Like, this happened to him. And he told me that that's not the case for those type of planes. So I don't know. I truly don't know. I can't answer that for you guys. I wish I could, but I can't because I have conflicting reports at the moment.
And the $1 million question remains. So,
Exactly.
so for my fans at home, everybody go check out It's a Wonderful Knife, arriving on Shudder, on AMC Plus, and everywhere you rent movies on December 1. Jane, thank you for talking to me, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to talk to you.